Today I will discuss the following topics. First, the origins of Sunnis and Shiites. Secondly, the differences between these two main groups in Islam. In my book, Ask Your Muslim Friend, you will find these topics in section 1.6 and 1.6.1. Muslims have emphasized the unity of worldwide Islamic community, the so-called Ummah, and they repeat this again and again. They often claim that Allah is one, that there is only one text of the Quran, and that there is only one teaching and one united Ummah with only one Islamic group. Is this true? Everyone who has observed history and studied the situation in the world must say, no, this is not true. In general, they do not like to discuss the various groupings among the Muslim people worldwide. They avoid speaking about the problems, wars and killing among all the different Muslim groups. In addition, Muslims often overlook the fact that all their attempts to question the credibility of Christianity serve no purpose unless they apply the same criteria to their own faith. Muslims use the word sect, firqa, differently than Christians. Primarily, the word is used for the division of Muslims into Sunni and Shiites, and then also for the numerous divisions within these main groups. Muhammad himself predicted that his followers would fragment into many different sects. In the Dictionary of Islam by Hughes, we read the following on page 567. It is a quote from the Hadith Mishkat. Abdullah ibn Umar relates that the Prophet said, "Verily, it will happen to my people that as it did to the children of Israel. The children of Israel were divided into 72 sects, and my people will be divided into 73 sects. Every one of these sects will go to hell except one." The companion said, "O Prophet, which is that?" He said, "The religion which is professed by me and my companions." Now, what can we say reading this quotation? Today, the number of sects or groups in Islam has by far exceeded Muhammad's prediction. Does this mean that all Muslims go to hell except those following Muhammad's sect? However, the crucial question is, what is Muhammad's sect? And also, what is the teaching of this group? My observation is that every sect is convinced that they are the only right followers of Muhammad. The problem is that we simply do not know what Muhammad's religion exactly was, since he never wrote it down himself and the Quran is not clear but rather vague. The word Sunni comes from Sunnah, which means traditions of Muhammad. Today, about 90% of all Muslims belong to the Sunni group. The two main groups originated from a dispute about the succession of Muhammad. This was a big problem from the beginning after Muhammad's death, since he did not appoint or state his successor. The Sunnis accepted the first four caliphs, Abu Bakr, Umar, Uthman and Ali. The minority group, the Shia, on the other hand, rejected the first three and only accepted the fourth, namely Ali. Ali was the son-in-law of Muhammad. The Shia accept only Muhammad's bodily descendants as the lawful heirs. In the following, I will list and explain some characteristics of the Shiites. They have quarreled endlessly among themselves, which resulted in many different subdivisions. Some of the topics that were disputed within but also against Sunnis were: was the Quran created or did it exist eternally? The discussion about Allah's predestination versus human responsibility. Shiites believe that Allah made a special revelation to Ali's wife, Fatima. This the Sunnis reject. Each Shiite group has its own traditions and reject other groups and Sunnis. Also, the prayer times differ. Shiites also practice temporary marriages, which can be contracted for some months or even only for some days. Shiites also have different inheritance laws and celebrate different festivals. Shiites developed a mentality of suffering and martyrdom. Besides the pilgrimage to Mecca, Shiites also established pilgrimages to their own holy places, mainly in Iran, but also other places in the world. Shiite groups are prominent mainly in Iran, Yemen and East Africa, but the minority groups are found all over the world. In the following, I'd like to summarize the main differences between Sunni and Shiite beliefs. First, in contrast to the Sunnis, the Shiites believe that their successors, imams, are chosen directly by Allah and are perfect examples. These imams are believed to be sinless. Secondly, the Shiites are convinced the successors of Muhammad must be in his bloodline. That is why they only accept Ali, the son-in-law of Muhammad, as the only legitimate and immediate successor. Thirdly, the Shiites have a profound veneration of Ali. They are convinced that Ali was the most perfect and excellent of all men who ever lived. Fourthly, Shiites believe in their divine leaders called Mujtahids. These men are enlightened doctors whose opinion is final in matters of law and doctrine. Fifthly, Shiites have different festivals than Sunni Muslims. Sixthly, Shiites accept the Magians who also have received an inspired book from Allah. Remember, the Sunnis only acknowledge Jews, Christians and Muslims as having received an inspired book from Allah. In Shia Islam, and this is number 7, the doctrine of taqiyya is prominent and well established. It allows them to conceal or even deny their faith if they find it to the advantage of Islam. This term taqiyya does not exist officially in Sunni Islam, though many Muslims practice it as well when under pressure. Number 8. There are also various minor differences in the performance of liturgical prayers. 9 points. Most Shia Muslims pray only 3 times a day, whereas the Sunni Muslims pray 5 times a day. Number 10. There are many differences concerning the civil laws of Shia and Sunni. Dear friends, I hope you find some valuable content about these teachings. If you find this lecture helpful, please like this video. Also subscribe to this channel if you want to receive regular updates about new lectures and videos. If you have specific questions, you can write them in the comments and I will be pleased to answer them. You can find more information in my book and download an ebook version for free on our website. See you again soon. Good day and God bless you.